Flying Singapore Airlines is more than an experience. It's a feeling.
No, that is far too cheesy.
Okay, let's try that again. Singapore Airlines is a 5-star airline, and no matter what cabin you choose, you're bound to get one of the best experiences possible. We all know the business class is amazing. Let's not talk about the angled seat. But even the economy is a wonderful experience and possibly the best in the sky. Why? Let's find out.
Good morning, we're in the beautiful city of Hong Kong, which is like a perfect mix of the West meets Asia. The food, the city, the buildings are incredible.
In fact, Hong Kong is one of our favourite cities in the world. The culture, the trams, which are dirt cheap to ride, and the wonderful architecture. But we're here for one specific purpose only.
Anyway, in today's video we're travelling on Singapore Airlines in the Airbus A380, not in first class, not in business, but in economy.
Today's flight from Hong Kong departs at a very reasonable 15:45, so I've taken some B-roll footage over the last 2 days exploring the city. And soon I'll make my way to the airport, which is not exactly close. In fact, it's 20 miles from the city centre and takes about 50 minutes on the bus. So after soaking in it and absorbing as much culture as possible, because sadly it might be a long time before I return, it's off to the bus stop to catch the A22. A standing for airport and 22 being one of many routes that serve the airport. One of the best things about the bus is how shockingly cheap it is. But you also get to see the city and the humongous cargo dock just outside the city. It really makes you feel tiny as a human being.
That's a surprisingly long journey. It takes about 50 minutes to get from the city to the airport, and that's on the A22 bus. You go from Tim Sao Choi, you can go on the A20 onwards.
First things first, check where to drop off my checked luggage and just hope that the queue for the massive Airbus A380 is short. I always try and fly Cathay Pacific from Hong Kong because I have space with a fellow carrier and get whisked into some beautiful lounges. But I pretty much mean nothing to Singapore Airlines, and so it's a very humble start to the flight. I've already checked it online, so I only need to drop off the bag and maybe get a paper boarding card or not, as the one on my phone is a little bit better for the environment.
So things were very busy at the economy queue, but because it's next door and then because they were really empty at the premium economy, I was able to get through in about 4 minutes with the whole process. That's pretty good.
And he feels good about it.
I do have priority pass, but I'm not really that bothered because Hong Kong Airport isn't quite Changi, but it's not far behind. And there are so many wonderful things to keep you entertained, with the best one being the newly built Sky Bridge for you plane spotters that has views across most of the terminal.
I keep looking closer, maybe they might see right through me, see right through me.
And if that's not ready for you, then you could always do some last minute shopping, check out some art, or play a game of chess.
And that was a good time to have a look at today's journey.
This is a rarity for me. This plane pictured above is not Singapore Airlines, but it's not often we get to see these in Europe. But I'm delighted to say I'll be flying the Airbus A380 twice today, with the first flight heading towards Singapore, taking just under 4 hours and covering 1,610 miles. I love staring at the window, but my priority pass needs to earn its value, and being just a little wise, I should make sure my phone's topped up. You never know when one day you'll get a faulty seat. Interestingly, I didn't even realise this lounge existed until today, but that's probably because it closes early, or at least it did at the time, because as of June 2024, it's open 24 hours a day. It's nicely laid out, good views out the window, and was lovely and quiet when I entered.
It must be nice. But I'm avoiding nice every time
If you don't have a pass and want to treat yourself, then you're going to have to dig deep into your pockets. Because to be honest, my jaw dropped when I realised for 2 hours of access, it's going to cost you 640 Hong Kong dollars. And not just that, but if you want to rent a room with a shower and a bed for a mere 6 hours, this will set you back 1,429 Hong Kong dollars, which is a high price, considering if you can build in more time. We stayed at the 4 Points Hotel just 10 minutes away for 940. Luckily, I'm not paying the bill. Anyway, it's kicking out time and I have a flight to catch.
Just eating a sweet, but it's off the gate 23.
The gate area is pretty quiet, but that's because half the passengers are staring out the window at this big beauty. And also it isn't due to commence for another 10 minutes. So I keep walking and I've stumbled across a brand new shop, which sells lots of beautiful model airplanes at above average prices, but I can just window shop. Once boarding starts, it's very efficient, and I'm allowed to board in Group 4 on the lower deck, which also features premium economy at the front. This is a genuinely good product. Be sure to check out our review if you're interested at the end of this one. Otherwise I'm heading to my seat, which is 51 Alpha, towards the front of the wing, but the sweet spots are the exit rows and the rows of 2 at the very front.
Welcome aboard another incredible Airbus A380.
There is so much to love about this seat, starting off with this wonderful 32 inches of pitch and 19 inches of width, which when you compare it to some of the competitors isn't a huge difference, but every extra inch is a little bit of comfort and space. Besides also being pretty visually attractive, the seats have also been thoughtfully laid out, with a small cubby hole for your phone just below the in-flight entertainment, and handy controls, a USB-A socket, and a head jack are all to the left. And if you're not feeling hungry and you just want a drink, there's a really handy cup holder. The headrest gets a massive tick, because they're adjustable, which might allow you to get some sleep. Otherwise, 51A has one whole humongous window to look out, although with the curvature of the plane I can see many more. The legroom is as good as it could get in economy. Don't let the bulging large seatback pocket confuse you, and I have more than enough room. And because Singapore Airlines wants to make this as comfortable as possible, every seat comes with a small pillow, a blanket, and even, and this was a shock, a warm towel to wash your hands or face, and this is usually reserved only for business class across the world. Unfortunately, where the purse strings were closed tightly was the air vents, which just don't exist, but there is at least a reading light as standard. But don't worry, I'm wearing shorts, I can always use my blanket to cool me down.
There are several emergency exits in this aircraft. Take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit, which may be behind you.
See right through me. And I don't know why I just can't have it. What everybody seem to take for granted. Wondering if I'm from another planet, somewhere far away. I might as well be on the moon. Probably be as confused as any other afternoon. Freaking out here in my life.
I strongly advise you bring your own headphones, but as poor as in-ear headphones are, these are better than most. And I'll save the in-flight entertainment for the flight from Singapore, so it's straight to the late lunch, or early dinner, however you want to call it. There wasn't a menu, and to be fair, I wasn't expecting one either. I forget the choices, but smoked salmon with potato salad was unexpected for economy, and was delicious, fresh, and of course healthy. For Asian food lovers, the main consisted of pak choy, Asian-style grilled pork, mushrooms and rice, which was hearty and delicious, and didn't disappoint. The meal also comes with a white bread roll in plastic wrap, and a carton of water sealed with foil. But at the same time as delivering the meals, you can also choose a drink of your own. At the same time as delivering the meals, you also get a choice of drink. What better than a white wine? Variety unknown. To finish this odd pairing of starter and main, which were worlds apart theme-wise, the luxury continues with a delicious Häagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream. And if chocolate isn't your favourite, well, that's just tough luck, as there wasn't a choice.
He smiles wide, 'cause he's the center of attention now.
From where I'm sitting, I have a choice of 7 different toilets in my close proximity, so queuing shouldn't be an issue.
And she takes
These are very standard bathrooms for a modern plane, except Singapore Airlines did upgrade them with the brown wood effect, but it isn't obvious given the low lighting. The hand lotion though was a nice surprise.
'cause it's scary being seen in daylight. Like if they're looking close, then maybe they might.
I'm really into the series 90 Day Fiancé, which is usually about Americans meeting people online and falling in love, often without success. But I also couldn't resist the in-flight magazine, which given that many airlines got rid of them during COVID, stating safety concerns, when really they just gave it an excuse to reduce their marketing team, reduce the weight on the plane, but it does help the environment. The skies over Singapore are Instagram dreamy, and I can't believe the 4 hours is nearly over. I'm still amazed by how far away Hong Kong is, and this is only my first journey of the day. I can feel the anxiety building though, because I know I chose this route, but the connection in between is quite tight, and even worse, we're in the middle of a holding pattern to land, causing us a slight delay.
And the local time in Singapore now is 6:50 in the evening, and the landing is expected at 7:30.
The conditions were just about right that you can just about see the Marina Bay Sands Hotel just in the background.
See right through me. And I don't know why I just can't have it. What everybody seem to take for granted. Wondering if
If you've not been in this situation before, then you are lucky, because there is no time for distractions, the pressure is on, and I'm 10 rows behind the exit to get off the plane. Find my gate for the next flight where the boarding closes in less than 50 minutes.
So at the minute, not very happy with Singapore Airlines. Right, so now I've caught my breath. This isn't the first time this has happened. KLM unfortunately had a 40-minute connection. The flight was slightly late in, my baggage didn't make it. And being New Year's Day, nothing was open. So the first chance I had to get new clothes was 3 days later. What a smell that was. Anyway, this is a 50-minute connection, which is not ideal, and the flight was 20 minutes late, so I think I made it, but will the bag?
Sod's law dictates that if I'd walked at my usual pace, they would have closed the gate and gone without me. But having run most of the way, besides feeling good about myself for getting here, I've just been told they're delaying the flight for people coming off connections. Why didn't they tell me this before? Anyway, thank God there's a hot towel on the way. Otherwise I'd have felt really bad for the people sitting next to me. My second flight of the day departs Singapore at 20:40, heading for Sydney, arriving at 7:40 in the morning, some 3,918 miles away, arriving 7 hours and 50 minutes later. I've chosen the exact same seat 51D, so we'll skip the safety video and the seat tour as it's already covered, and skip straight to the entertainment and my second meal of the evening. Just for your information, if you choose to this route, I'm having a lot of fun, but it's exhausting. I could have more than happily stayed the night in Singapore. If you're still watching the video, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We fly and review for a living, and the more you watch, the more it helps us financially to bring you more reviews, and a huge thank you to everyone who supported us and subscribed. Singapore Airlines has one of the top in-flight entertainment systems in the world. The interface is visually wonderful, nice large icons, and the vast amount of TV shows and movies. There are over 1900 to choose from. I'm also a big fan of the in-flight map, which is modern, crisp, and has plenty to play with. Thank God the meal was different from the earlier flight, which is a big plus in my book. There's nothing more annoying than connecting onto a different flight and eating the exact same thing. Besides a side order of crackers and cheddar cheese, the main course was chicken with a tomato-ish based sauce, edamame beans and carrots, which was really delicious. This also came with a small mixed salad, which to be honest, I didn't enjoy. I did however enjoy the dessert, vanilla ice cream, my favourite. I sometimes have a love-hate relationship with travel. I yearn for it, and it's an absolute passion, but sometimes I wonder why I pick such terrible flight times. And don't get me started on the hours, days and weeks I've sat in economy seats. I do it for the love of flying, but the human body needs rest, and that's always an important part when deciding between comfort and your wallet. Not to mention this is my 5th flight in the last 7 days, having travelled via Doha, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Singapore and now Sydney. Oh, I mentioned earlier that for the most part this was an excellent experience, except for the mushroom potato puff, which was okay but not great. And somehow, having offered the lady on the aisle a drink, the cabin crew somehow completely missed out me and the person in the middle, who was staring at them and moved on to the next row. I do realise being cabin crew is absolutely exhausting. When I then turned round and said, "Can we have a drink?" there wasn't so much as a sorry as to "What can I get you?" I won't taint the otherwise wonderful memories though I have flying Singapore Airlines, so I'll just put this one down to exhaustion. Usually after sitting upright overnight, I feel groggy and tired, but I feel pretty good. And that's probably because it's sunny outside and I'm in Australia, which is exciting because I haven't been here in over 8 years.
So Singapore Airlines, really enjoyed the food, the entertainment. The service wasn't quite there. On the first flight, they gave me the wrong meal, and on the second flight, it was a bit strange because they asked if we wanted a drink, but they only asked the person in the middle who was sleeping. And then for some reason they then went on to the next row, and I don't quite understand why, so I had to sort of turn around and say, "Can I have a drink please?" And the same went for the person in the aisle, so there's 2 people missed out. Not quite sure that happened. Otherwise, very good experience. It was quite comfortable. Obviously it's economy, so for a long haul flight you're going to have a so-so sleep because it's just not possible to recline enough to get that in. But otherwise, I'd love to fly them again. Thank you for watching.